Hi, I'm Nick Nanton, and welcome to Times Square Today, the morning show that matters. I've got a great guest for you today, my good friend, Mr. Tim Bilecki. Tim, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well, man. So you're an international lawyer. You're an expert on many things when it comes to criminal cases. You're a best-selling author. You've been on TV. You've done a lot of cool stuff, and you represent military service members when they're involved in court-martial cases. Tell us a little bit more about that, because a lot of people probably don't understand that.
Sure. Well, Nick, I used to be in the military. I spent 8 years in the military. In the vast majority of that, I defended service members facing very serious court-martial cases around the world. 2008 to 2010, I spent my last few years in the military out in Korea defending service members stationed in the Pacific. And I really saw a need. There were service members, soldiers, Marines, airmen who were charged with very serious crimes. Many of these crimes they never committed. And there was a need to have outstanding representation for people to actually go to Asia to where they're stationed to defend them. So there was a huge need there, and I wanted to fill that need. And so I was transitioning out of the military in 2010. I didn't want to stay in anymore. And so I started the practice in Honolulu, Hawaii, dedicated to doing nothing but defending service members facing very serious court-martials, mainly in the Pacific. But we've grown that to a worldwide and global practice. So it's pretty amazing.
Very cool. Now, one of the things I love, talking to you about your story is most people don't go into the military as an attorney wanting to be a defense lawyer. Tell me about that.
Oh, it's great. I went into the military knowing I wanted to be a defense attorney. I went to law school in Miami. I fell in love with criminal defense. I worked for an amazing two individuals, Joel Hirschhorn and Brian Bieber, who are world-renowned criminal defense attorneys. And after working with them and seeing what they do and how they defend people's lives, I fell in love and I was hooked. I went into the Army knowing I wanted to do criminal defense and travel the world defending soldiers. So when I joined the military in 2002, I basically begged and pleaded to do that, and my wish was granted. And I spent the vast majority of my career defending those service members around the world. So it's been an amazing experience to be able to do that. But that was my passion. It wasn't to do contracts. It wasn't to do fiscal law. It was straight to defend these individuals who stood up, took an oath to defend our country, and now they needed someone to defend them. And so we really defend those who are defending America. And oftentimes I found out that we're the last line of defense for these individuals. So I was proud and very honored to be able to travel the world to defend these outstanding young men and women.
That's really great. Now, one of the things that I learned also from hanging around with you is that, when a service member signs up to serve our country, they get treated with respect and everything until something goes wrong, until the military thinks they've committed a crime and wants to accuse them of something. What happens then?
Oh, it's funny. They treat you with dignity, honor, and respect, and you're an outstanding soldier. Once you're accused, the tables are turned. There's no other system of justice that I've ever found in America, and this is true, Nick, that if you are accused of a crime in the military, you're guilty until proven innocent. Now, by the law, of course, you're innocent until you're proven guilty,
right.
But they will treat you as if you committed the crime, whether you did or you did not. And the horrific thing in the military is oftentimes they jump to conclusions, they pile on the evidence, and they treat you as if you've been found guilty throughout the entire tenure while you're pending charges. And I found that deplorable. And so what I've done is I found the military start stacking the deck, adding additional charges, and they do everything they can to try to put that service member in jail, but they're cloaked in that presumption of innocence, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, which they swore to uphold and protect. So that's where we come in, Nick. We come in and we try to level the playing field and do everything possible to give that service member a fair trial and to find the evidence that can exonerate them or give them the best chance of showing their case so that justice can actually prevail. So that was one of the disappointments I actually had with the military. Is I always thought in the military, if you're accused, if you're a service member, they may go to bat for you or try to not help you out, but give you a fair shot. And that's all we asked for, and it wasn't the case. And so I was really turned off by that one part of it. And so that's what we really try to do, is give these service members a fair chance. Give them a shot.
That's great. I've really enjoyed watching your success. One of the questions I have for you is, how do you stay so far ahead of the curve?
Nick, I've always said that you can't trip on a hurdle that's behind you, and you can't fall on something that's behind you. And I've been doing this so long and have tried so many cases that I think I've seen it all. And one of my mentors taught me that to win, it takes a lot of perspiration and a little inspiration. And one of the trends I'm seeing in the military is that they're bringing more and more prosecutors to the table, especially in the military's now war on sexual assault. So we're fighting a battle where we're like a SEAL team. We've got a small team against a huge insurgency. So we're not just one person taking on the Army against us. We've got these resources. So it's not only one individual who has a lot of experience. You can multiply that and has an amazing effect moving forward.
Very good. Now, one of the questions I like to ask guys like you is, if you had to talk to startup Tim Bilecki, maybe law school Tim Bilecki, what would you say to him now?
Take risks. Take risks. Everyone envies the reward. No one takes the risks. And so what I say is, if you have a dream, you can achieve it. If you have something you are passionate about, you can achieve it. Now take risk, but don't take foolish risk. Don't do things that are foolish, but take those risks and you can achieve your dreams. So what I would have done, maybe started earlier. My father was always been a huge inspiration for me. He always told me to start my own practice, and he was a big dreamer. Unfortunately, my dad passed away before I was able to be able to see what we've accomplished. So perhaps I could have done it a little bit sooner, even moved a little bit quicker, even though I did it at a pretty young age. So maybe my father, who's always been an inspiration for me, would be able to see what kind of we've accomplished, because I know he'd be proud. So it's a matter of taking risks and enjoying today, because there may not be a tomorrow. And so if you're an attorney, an entrepreneur, a service member, whatever you are, and you have a dream, know that you can achieve it, and just act today, because there may not be a tomorrow, but act wisely when you do it. So that's my advice, would have been maybe to move on things even sooner, even though I started at a pretty young age.
It's great advice. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching this who say, hey, I might need that person to defend me, or my son or daughter who's in the service. How can they find you, Tim?
Nick, the reality is we can't help everyone. I wish we could. We get more calls than there's more needy clients than we can help. But if you've got a serious case and you're in serious need and you need the best, you can find me.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Bilecki, international criminal defense attorney, right here on Times Square Today. Stay tuned. We're going to bring you even more great experts from all around the world here on Times Square Today.